I don't know about you, but here in Washington, D.C., we are having a heat wave, and I have been reaching for a few fragrances that have been helping me survive because I do not like the heat. I'm originally from Texas, okay? So if you're from Texas, hi. But you guys know, if you're from Texas or from the South in general, how hot it can get. And part of the reason why I moved here to the Northeast is because I wanted to get away from the heat. But hey, here in the Washington, D.C. area, we have humidity. We have heat. It's a fun combination, meaning my hair is frizzy at all times and I end up reaching for fragrances that are refreshing just to survive the heat. With that being said, if this is your first time on this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances. I talk about them here 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. I also publish additional content on TikTok and Instagram under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. And if you're interested in fragrance history, I have a podcast. It's called The Fragrance Report. It's available on Spotify and on YouTube. I publish an episode every single Wednesday. In addition to that, if you're trying to get your finances in order this summertime, okay, get ahead of those New Year's resolutions, that is what I'm trying to do myself, then I would highly suggest you download my fragrance collection log and expense tracker. It started out as a way to track your finances and track your spending related to fragrance, but I've since added more features to it to make it an effective way to track what's in your collection. So even if you've been not buying fragrances and you already have a collection of decants, samples, full bottles, this tracker is designed to be an effective way to track and see what you have in your collection. So it's available for you guys to download in my stand store if you guys are interested. So I'm gonna get right on into it. I have a variety of fragrances here. I have designer and I also have niche, but I would say nothing in this video, nothing in this video is going to be over $200, and in fact most of these fragrances are going to be around $100, so the affordability is good in this video. And I also wanted to focus on fragrances that I haven't really had a chance to mention as much because I've done like those kinds of videos where we talk about like the top summer fragrances and stuff like that, but I also want to kind of give a spotlight to the fragrances that I haven't mentioned in a while because I mean I publish a lot of content, so I feel like it's easy to kind of like forget about some of the fragrances I've mentioned, and there have been some that I've wanted to revisit. So one of those fragrances is actually from Commodity. This is called Gin. This is a little bit tricky because it's not always available online, but it is available in their Soho boutique. So if you happen to be in New York City at any point, you can go to their Soho boutique and they have this archives collection available for purchase. And I believe these fragrances run around like $150, $160. So it's pretty affordable, and these fragrances smell so unique, pink, and so beautiful. My absolute favorite, but I have a few more that I want to get, is Gin. Gin is a stunning iteration of the juniper berry note. So if you're looking for a juniper berry fragrance that's citrusy, that's aromatic, that's refreshing, this is excellent. There's also grapefruit juice in here. Basically, this has notes of juniper berry, grapefruit juice, and lime at the top, a mid of ginger leaf, freesia, and labdanum, and then a base of patchouli, smoky oak, and musk. What I like about this is that it's refreshing and citrusy, but it also really does have longevity. So if you are spraying this on at the beginning of the day, you're going to be wearing and experiencing this fragrance throughout the entire day. You don't have to worry about it disappearing. And sometimes we want fragrances that are a little bit fleeting just because you want that, especially in summer, but sometimes you want something with longevity, and I do have options in this video for both preferences, but in this case, this is the kind of perfume to wear if you want something that will last all day. It's really lovely. It's intense without being overbearing or too much in the heat. So I've been wearing this a lot. It's beautiful, and it's a lovely hair fragrance as well because you can wear it and also know that it will work well with a variety of other scents. So if you happen to come across this fragrance, definitely get your nose on it. It's really, really good. And if you also happen to catch their kind of like online sales, because every now and then they'll put the archive collection online, check it out. It's really beautiful. I love this fragrance. So again, this is Gin by Commodity. So next up I have a classic that I haven't talked about in a while, and I remembered this fragrance because I was talking about another perfume that I really liked, and then someone mentioned Gucci Memoir in the comments, and I was like, wait, I love that fragrance, but I haven't worn it in such a long time. Let's talk about it again. And I'm looking at my bottle and it's looking dangerously low. So I might have to get another one soon. But this is Gucci Memoir de Nodeur. This is a lovely kind of like refreshing chamomile tea fragrance. What I was talking about, like just a moment ago, fragrances are a little bit fleeting. This is going to be one of those perfumes. This is not going to be like necessarily a heavy hitter, and it's meant to be like a light and kind of like refreshing fragrance. It's not meant to be eternal. It's one of those like light, fleeting, refreshing perfumes, but it's very soothing as well because it has a beautiful note of chamomile tea here, which I love. And I also appreciate that the bottle itself looks like very kind of like old school, but kind of like this looks like this would be on the dressing table of someone like in the 30s, 40s, you know, because of like the color of the glass and like the different finishes, the gold accents. I love this. So this fragrance has notes of chamomile and bitter almond at the top, a mid of musk, Indian jasmine, and then a base of sandalwood, cedar, and vanilla. It's interesting because citruses aren't like listed in the scent pyramid, but I almost get like a citrusy chamomile tea with this. So it's beautiful, soothing. If you want something ultra refreshing, try this, Gucci More. Another designer that I absolutely love, I love to wear this on date nights because it's one of those fragrances that's like kind of like demure. Not that you should be demure all the time, like you can be whoever you want to be, but sometimes whenever if I'm meeting someone for the first time, or if I'm doing something that's work related and I want to wear a fragrance and I want it to be long lasting, I have to really think specifically about the fragrances that I wear, because yes, I want it to be long lasting and I want to enjoy it, but I also don't want to offend anyone around me. And there's like this whole like kind of debate online about like, okay, whether or not you should care about people being offended by your fragrance, but really like here in the real world, okay, we have to sometimes abide by certain societal norms and expectations, especially in places like the workplace, especially when you're meeting people for the first time. Some people genuinely have allergies and they cannot be around certain fragrances. And if you are in a work environment, you want people focused on the value you bring and not on what you're wearing or the fragrance you have on. So I feel like that's something that we need to really focus on sometimes, because when we're talking about like the online fragrance community, I think that sometimes it gets really easy to kind of like forget that there are a lot of people who have no idea what any kind of fragrance is, and you don't want to call attention to yourself in a negative way. But that's exactly why I really like Pure Poison by Dior, because it's one of those like kind of like sweet floral fragrances with some citrus, with some musk, that is very pleasing. People like this. Like when they end up being a little bit closer to me, they really appreciate this fragrance. I've gotten compliments on it many times, and it's definitely an easy fragrance to just reach for and spray on. Obviously, you know, the amount that you spray on will determine whether or not people can smell you from across the room, but this is one of those fragrances that for like a professional setting, I like to spray on like maybe 2-3 sprays maximum. But obviously, if I'm going out, then I like to do a little bit more. But regardless, I really like this, and it happens to be really appropriate for this time of year because it has that longevity, but it's also a fragrance that happens to be quite refreshing because of that clean musk in here. And look at my dent. Look at my dent. It's outrageous. I have like half of this fragrance gone. So I'm going to have to, yeah, like some of these fragrances I'm actually really worried about. Yeah, this is not good. I need to get myself backups. But yeah, Pure Poison by Dior. Let's look at the notes. So this fragrance has notes of jasmine, orange, bergamot, and Sicilian mandarin at the top, a mid of gardenia and orange blossom, and then a base of sandalwood, white amber, cedar, and white musk. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love this. I love this perfume a lot. It's one of my favorites, and it's also really accessible. You can go into like any kind of Sephora or Ulta and try this out for yourself, but I highly recommend it. Again, this is Dior's Pure Poison. Okay, let's go for something that's a little bit more niche. This is by Corel's Sharing Concept. This is a beautiful soapy fragrance. It literally smells like a bar of white soap, and there's something about that scent profile that I just really like and gravitate towards. It in and of itself makes me feel like I'm smelling something refreshing. And I wear this a lot as a hair fragrance. I wear it sometimes when I haven't washed my hair in a few days, and like wash days, like the next day, and I want to wear it. A lot of times I'll wear this when I'm working out, because then I'll be like, okay, I can take a shower after, but like, what do I want to wear now that's like refreshing? It will make me feel like clean and normal, you know? So I'll wear Sharing Concept. I really love this a lot. Look at my dent. But yeah, let's look at the notes. So we have notes of orange, blackcurrant, and grapes and wild berries at the top, a mid of grapefruit, rose petals, red wine, and grape leaves, as well as Davana, and then a base of vetiver, amberwood, and plum. Genuinely, to me, this just smells like a grapefruit soapy kind of fragrance. I don't really get any other of these like kind of heavier notes like the wild berries and the red wine as much. Maybe I'll get like a white wine, but that's about it. Yeah, it's a nice and refreshing scent. If you happen to be able to get this, I know that sometimes it's a little bit difficult to sample this one because this is an international brand, but if you're able to try it, definitely do so. It's quite beautiful. Yeah, I really very much enjoyed it. Again, this is by Corel's Sharing Concept. Okay, so we're down to our last two. One of these, you guys know how much I love this one. This is L'Imperatrice by Dolce & Gabbana. I just adore this fragrance. It's a tart, bright rhubarb perfume with watermelon cyclamen. There's a beautiful musk in this perfume as well. It's one of those perfumes that's very joyful, summery, playful, but not juvenile. And I love this perfume. It's so amazing to me. This is my second bottle, okay? I love this fragrance. I've worn it for years. I have very happy scent memories associated with it. This reminds me of summertime and vacations, and I just love it. It's amazing. Let's look at the notes. So this perfume is a fruity ozonic fragrance with notes of kiwi, rhubarb, and pink pepper at the top, a mid of watermelon, cyclamen, and jasmine, and then base of lemon tree, musk, and sandalwood. I adore this. It's so, so good. Yeah, this is really, really good. So this is one of those kind of fruity gourmand fragrances that's airy enough that you can spray this on without like worrying about overwhelming yourself with how sweet it is, because it's just the right amount of sweetness paired with the ozonic factor, which just makes it smell like watery and refreshing. So this is kind of giving like cocktail by the beach. It's giving tropical vacation. This perfume actually does very well in the hot weather, but I love wearing it throughout the year because it's one of those fragrances that to me is just one of those like essential perfumes that I can go back to comfortably time and time again and never quite get sick of. So L'Imperatrice by Dolce & Gabbana, and then this one. This is Orbel's Salted Muse. I love this perfume so much. And it's interesting because this fragrance to me reminds me of like a mermaid shell. Like, by the way, okay, so you know how Bella Hadid is the founder of Orbella. Have you seen her with her new boyfriend? Like, I think he's like a Mexican cowboy. And their relationship is so cute. She looks so happy. I'm not like super into celebrities. I mean, kind of, I maybe am just a teeny tiny bit, but like I saw some paparazzi photos of her with her boyfriend and they looked so happy. And like I also know that she's into horses and he's a cowboy, so it makes sense. But anyway, this reminds me of a mermaid, kind of like a token. Like Ariel would love this. Okay, part of her. Okay. Anyway, I'm all over the place, but this is a refreshing kind of sea-like fragrance. There's a saltiness to it. There's some fig in here as well. My sister, okay, shout out to Katya, hello if you're watching, but she says this smells like the garden center at the Home Depot, and to that I say I like that. So this is like one of my favorite fragrances from the line. I really adore it, but keep in mind, this is probably going to be for those of you who want to smell like the garden center at the Home Depot. And I personally don't mind that smell, but I know some of you guys might. But this is a sea salt and pink pepper perfume at the top, a mid of olive tree, lavender, and fig, and then a base of cedar, sandalwood, and amber. I really love this one. It happens to be an oil, so it lasts a really long time. The sillage might not always be there, but it will last throughout the day. And I do love layering it with other fragrances. So I would layer this with like any of the other fragrances that I just mentioned. It would work very well in my opinion. But again, this is Orbel's Salted Muse. Alright, so those are all the fragrances I have to mention today. These are kind of like the essential top 6 fragrances I'm wearing right now in this heat wave kind of situation. Well, actually I haven't worn Gucci Memoir in a while, so I think I'll be wearing this again. Maybe today or tomorrow, depends. I'm going to a family function like later tonight, so I'm trying not to spray any fragrances on myself because I adore my family and they very much support me and all my interests, but they are not perfume fans. I have like an aunt who lives in the UK and she loves fragrances, and when I found that out, I was like, wait, that makes so much sense, because I thought that the fragrance gene just like popped up, like mutated in me. But she loves fragrance, and I'm like, that's how I know. It's definitely in the family, but you just have to look for it because everyone else in my family is just not a fan of fragrance. But I'm trying to get them there little by little. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of these picks. Let me know what have been the fragrances for you to wear when you want to escape the heat wave. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.